When the coronavirus started spreading, many people went into sort of a survivalist mode. They started stocking up on what they thought would be essential items.
Masks were the first thing that people bought, then it was hand sanitizer, and now people are buying up a lot of the toilet paper. So a lot of people are wondering why. Let's connect the dots.
It's been one of the stranger reactions to coronavirus concerns. People around the globe stockpiling toilet paper. So why are scared shoppers stocking up on rolls? Let's connect the dots. First of all, this is not only an American problem, it's not just your neighborhood Costco limiting how much toilet paper you can buy. There have been reports in Australia, Germany, and England of people clearing out shelves. According to a clinical psychologist, this is a pretty classic human response to fear and confusion. Because this coronavirus is new and we're still learning about the risk it poses, some people are panicking and making irrational purchases. And that's the other problem, because humans are social creatures. When we see someone else doing something, we want to do it too. Like panic buying toilet paper. But experts agree you don't need a lifetime supply, just enough to get you and your family through 2 weeks if you end up in quarantine.